Potto Finds a Job by Roger Hargreaves. 999 miles away from this book you're reading, there is another book. You'll find it in Christmas Cottage, which, as you well know, is the home of Hippo and Potto and Mouse. And the book is Hippo's Red Housekeeping book. Hippo writes down in his housekeeping book the amount of money he has earned from the office where he works every day, 5 days a week. And every month he writes down the amount of money that he and Potto and Mouse have spent. And every month Hippo worries. You see, Hippo spends money on the most sensible things like food and soap, and Mouse is given pocket money every week, which he spends on toffee. But Potto, he spends his money on anything which takes his eye. Oh, things that takes Potto's eye. Like shiny motor cars, and silk shirts, and large cigars, and new clothes, and smart hats, and gold-topped canes, and nights out. Oh, Potto the playboy! One evening, after adding up his red housekeeping book, and after working out that Potto was spending more than Hippo was earning, Hippo lost his temper. "It's simply not good enough!" he shouted at Potto. "You're a lazy, greedy, selfish, foolish, extravagant fellow!" "Oh, there, replied lazy, greedy, selfish, foolish, extravagant Potto. "No need to get upset, old chap," he went on. "It's only money." Hippo groaned. A deep Hippo felt groan. That night, poor Hippo couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned and worried about money, and what he was going to do about it. And then he had an idea. He smiled. A small Hippo-like smile. And then he went to sleep. The following morning, at breakfast, Hippo told Potto what his idea was. Potto couldn't believe his ears. "Work?" he boomed. "Work me? You mean get a job? Me? Go to work? Me?" Mouse giggled into his boiled egg. "Never!" continued Potto. Mouse giggled into his marmalade. "Anyway," said Potto, "gentlemen don't work." And Mouse burst out laughing into his coffee cup. But Hippo was determined. And that evening, when he came home from work, he announced that it had all been arranged. Potto was to start work next Monday morning, in the same office as Hippo. And Potto blustered, and Potto shouted, and Potto complained, and Potto argued, and Potto pleaded. But it was no use. Monday morning came, and Hippo and Potto went to work. Happy Hippo, and unhappy Potto. Mouse couldn't wait to find out how Potto had got on work. He waited at the garden gate at Christmas Cottage for Hippo and Potto to come home. But when they did come home, it was most odd. They looked exactly the opposite of how they had looked that morning. Unhappy Hippo and happy Potto. Inside Chris's cottage, Hippo explained. First of all, there had been the paper. Potto had discovered that he could make paper aeroplanes, and spent most of the morning flying them out of the office window. And he had lost all the important office papers. And nobody else could do any work. Then there was the lift. Potto had discovered how it worked, and had spent most of the afternoon going up and down like a yo. And everybody else could use it. Then there was the tea and buns. Every afternoon, everybody at Hippo's office had tea and buns. But on that afternoon, that afternoon, only one person had tea and biscuits. Can you guess who? At last, they would wear the hats. Most of the people who had worked at Hippo's office had their names inside the hats. But Potto, for fun, he changed all the names around. Mouse laughed and laughed and laughed when Hippo told him about what had happened at the office on Monday. And Potto laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed, and even Hippo had to chuckle when he got to come to tell him about the polar hands. Oh, Potto, he said, whatever are we going to do with you? You can't go back to work in my office, so how are we going to make extra money? Potto stood in the middle of the living room. Don't worry, he announced grandly. Hi, he continued. We'll think of something. That following evening, Tuesday, Hippo arrived home to find Potto in a state of great excitement. I've done it! He cried, dancing around Hippo. I've done it! I've done it! I've done it! Done what? Asked Hippo. I've done it! I've done it! Boomed Potto triumphantly. I found a job every Saturday in the afternoon helping Farmer Giles. Lots of money. I told you I'd do it. I've done it. I've done it. Hippo was amazed. You mean you found a job? Yes, yes, cried Potto. With Farmer Giles? Yes, again, cried Potto. And get paid for it? Why, yes, indeed, cried Potto. Well, said Hippo, I never thought that you would ever find yourself a job. Oh, no, cried Potto. It's not for me. This job is for you.